This is Durga Puja, the last one. So all 14 are here.
Oh wow.
So,
And you've done also over there, I see.
so that is subsequently, not now.
Yeah.
So that we go there. Right now we go here.
Okay. Three ladies for us. Wow. Oh, it never happens in India.
I was not well, but I'm fine. I'm very well. Very happy to be here.
So happy you're here.
Hi Lily, how are you?
Hi. Come Alibu. Hi, please. You're all waiting.
I meet, I don't know if you've met Ritu.
She's the dean of National Museum.
We met so many times in China.
And that's
other
right. I
places.
remember now. Yeah.
RituSethi is one of our
Yes, of
educators.
course.
Yes.
I know very well.
And Manvi teaches ICH in National Museum, which is getting converted. She's Manvi. She's dean of National Museum Institute, which is getting converted into Institute of Heritage.
Okay, very good.
And my love, I'm DG here and I'm police. Please, welcome.
Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, we extend a very warm welcome to all on the intangible cultural heritage of India and the celebration. India's National Academy of Music, Dance and Drama, which is the ICH nodal agency in collaboration with the National Museum Institute and the National Museum, New Delhi. We are honored by the presence of Dr. Tim Curtis, Secretary of UNESCO's 2003 Convention on the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Mr. Eric Falt, Director and UNESCO Representative to Bhutan, India, Maldives and Sri Lanka, a very warm welcome. And also a very warm welcome to Ms. Lily Pandeya, Joint Secretary, UNESCO, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. The non-material manifestations of culture expressed in the forms of practices, representations, expressions, knowledge, skills, as well as the instruments, objects, artifacts, and cultural spaces that people distinguish as an essential component of their cultural heritage make up the Intangible Cultural Heritage, or ICH. Transmitted through generations and constantly recreated, it reflects the variety of living heritage and cultural diversity. In order to ensure this sense of identity and continuity that it signifies and significantly provides to the associated groups or communities, the 2003 UNESCO Convention on the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage was adopted. As a nation that comprises of diverse cultural expressions, India also ratified to this convention in 2005, and since then has been actively functioning towards the safeguarding and preserving of the intangible cultural heritage of India. Recently, India has been elected as a member of the Intergovernmental Committee of UNESCO's 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of ICH. With the inscription of Durga Puja in Kolkata in 2021, India now proudly has 14 elements on the representative list of ICH of humanity. In our tradition, we begin every auspicious occasion by lighting the traditional lamp. I request our special guests here to do the honor.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me.
There's one more.
Side.
And these are all handwoven.
Put it on here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arvind Kumar.
So good afternoon and many greetings to you. Mr. Eric Falt, Director, UNESCO India Office, New Delhi.
Hi.
Mr. Tim Curtis, Secretary, Convention for the Safeguarding of ICH UNESCO. Ms. RituSethi, Ms. Shikha Jain, Ms. Manvi, Seth, Dean, National Museum Institute. Juni has just joined us. Arvind Kumar, Director, UNESCO, Ministry of Culture. Colleagues from Ministry of External Affairs. Sangeet Natak Akademi, our nodal agency for intangible cultural heritage. My colleagues from National Museum and National Museum Institute. Our friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here today, and of course, Nanu Bhasin ma'am, our PIB. We have gathered here today to celebrate the successful inscription of Durga Puja of Kolkata in the representative list of ICH of Humanity in 2021, to launch the two-day capacity building national workshop on intangible cultural heritage, and meet and greet our friends from UNESCO. I am honored to be in your midst to celebrate and showcase the diverse expressions of intangible India. India is a sum of its parts and much more, represented through ideas, practices, beliefs, indigenous traditional knowledge systems, and values shared by its myriad communities. India is a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious society, conscious of the UNESCO ICH commitment to Sustainable Development Goals, specifically the 17 goals related to climate change, partnership, responsible consumption and production, reduction of inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, among others. This year, we march into the 75th year of our independence, and we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It is a national commemoration of the glorious history of our culture, people, and achievements. The resilience and cohesion of our communities is strongly linked with our cultural legacy. The arts and cultural and creative industries are drivers and continue to be the drivers of our present-day innovations. The recent inscription of Durga Puja of Kolkata as the 14th element from India on the representative list of ICH of Humanity also makes this event a significant platform for celebrating this honor, accomplishment, recognition. The 10-day celebration of Durga Puja, which will start from the last week of the next month, and which celebrates the feminine Shakti, power, upholds the spirit of community, and encapsulates the dynamic cultural expressions in the form of folk music, culinary, craft, and performing arts traditions. As the event is organized in the backdrop of UNESCO's 2003 Convention on the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, I would also like to draw your attention to the time-tested friendship between India and UNESCO. Having ratified the Constitution of UNESCO in 1946, India is proud to be one of its earliest member states. Throughout our association with UNESCO, which is almost as long as the history of our independent nation, India has continued to strengthen harmony between the different ideologies and cultures of all its member states. Today, India is a member of almost all of the UNESCO's cultural conventions and programs. With 40 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 14 intangible cultural heritage elements inscribed on the representative list the latest being Durga Puja of Kolkata, 9 documentary heritage elements recognized in the International Memory of the World Register, and 6 creative cities, India continues to strengthen the intercultural dialogue among nations. At the national level, India has a strong mechanism in place to sustainably safeguard its heritage and regularly facilitates a democratic participation of all its stakeholders in the processes. At the international level, India is determined to strengthen its efforts to safeguard the intangible heritage of humanity. Sangeet Natak Academi, an autonomous organization under the Ministry of Culture, has been appointed as the nodal agency for the ICH matters, such as maintaining the national inventory, preparation of nomination dossiers, and so on. Since 2013-14, Ministry of Culture has also been running a scheme titled Scheme for Safeguarding the Intangible Cultural Heritage and Diverse Cultural Traditions of India, with the objective of professionally enhancing awareness and interest in intangible cultural heritage and safeguarding, promoting, and propagating it systematically. Financial assistance is provided for the activities relating to intangible cultural heritage, diverse cultural traditions of India. This 2-day capacity building national workshop comes in the wake of our recent election into the Intergovernmental Committee of the 2003 Convention. And it reflects our commitment to further the 4 aims of UNESCO ICH Convention, that is, to safeguard the intangible cultural heritage, to ensure respect for the intangible cultural heritage of the communities, groups, and individuals concerned, to raise awareness at the local, national, and international levels of the importance of intangible cultural heritage and of ensuring mutual appreciation thereof, and to provide for international cooperation and assistance. Preparing a roadmap for extensive ICH training programs at various levels of professionals, academicians, and others is a priority for Ministry of Culture. The aim of the workshop is to raise awareness levels about ICH and devise a mechanism for systematic documentation, preparation of dossiers, and academic research. Speakers and experts conducting the workshop are a mix of academicians, experts, and practitioners. The mode of workshop will be participatory, with each session having 3 components: theory about ICH, documented case study of ICH, and an activity demonstrating the actual process of ICH documentation, dossier preparation. Participants of the workshop are a mix of professionals, students, and researchers and community stakeholders, and we hope to create a format for ICH awareness among communities across the length and breadth of India. Today's inauguration essentially kickstarts a year-long series of ICH capacity building workshops and other ICH-related activities, programs, and festivals. We eagerly look forward to listening to Mr. Eric Falt and Mr. Tim Curtis. Wishing all the participants of this workshop all the very best. I thank you.
And UNESCO representative for the UNESCO New Delhi office, which covers Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, the Maldives, and Sri Lanka. May I now request Mr. Eric Falt, Director.
Lily, dear friends, it really gives me great pleasure to be with all of you today for this celebration of the inscription of the Durga Puja on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. This is very important, I think, to bring together all of the stakeholders and different groups who are involved in such nominations. And I think today, in this workshop in particular, is a wonderful example of the way things should be done. So big congratulations to you, Lily, to the Ministry of Culture, and the many others who have been involved. It's not too late also to congratulate you for the election, indeed, on the committee, which is going to be meeting later this year in Morocco. I will actually see you there because it's the end of my assignment in India after 4.5 years. I'll be moving to Morocco, but I'll have a chance to see Lily and others, hopefully for the next inscription, but I don't want to say more than that. That doesn't really have anything to do with me, but I will be with you. Over the last 4.5 years, I think we have seen how the visibility of intangible cultural heritage has risen, thanks to the efforts of the Ministry of Culture, but also all of the stakeholders. That's really my main message today, is that the convention, the 2003 Convention on Intangible Cultural Heritage, perhaps more than any other UNESCO convention, is about bringing communities to the fore with the help of all concerned. We at UNESCO are an intergovernmental organization, so we work first and foremost with governments, and of course here in India very closely with the government of India. And I really want to give credit to the efforts of all those who have been involved to underline and stress the importance of all these traditions. I often say that India offers more intangible cultural heritage practices probably than any other country in the world. Many of them are in need of safeguarding. So it's, of course, thanks to efforts by the government that a difference can be made, but it's also because all of you are involved one way or the other. Here I want to stress the importance of civil society organizations, and I know that there are many in the room. Without their dedication, without their passion, we would not have been able, through the government of India, to have all these inscriptions. And it's also at the grassroots level that we have seen a difference. And yes, in terms of all of the recent inscriptions, what better exemplifies the involvement of all these stakeholders than the Durga Puja? Durga Puja is celebrated at all levels, at the very grassroots level, and by many other people. It's a wonderful celebration, and we are at UNESCO very proud that it was recently inscribed. So thank you again for organizing this celebration here in New Delhi. It's important to have others involved, and here I want to mention that I'm grateful also to all of the other partners who have worked with us in the past few years to raise the importance and visibility of intangible cultural heritage. As you may know, we have worked, for instance, with the tourism industry, which I think needs to be better cognizant and aware of the difference it can make to show tourists not just monuments, the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, but also give them a flavor, introduce them to what are all these amazing intangible cultural heritage practices that India offers. Often tourists don't have a chance to be exposed to this. And in this regard, I want to mention the partnership that we created with IHCL, the Taj group of hotels and other hotels, with whom we have started to showcase ICH practices around the country. Some of you, I'm sure many of you, know that earlier this week, we also launched a very groundbreaking and novel partnership with Royal Enfield, the motorcycle company, to try to see how to bring to light also the wonderful ICH practices of the Himalayas. And we are hoping to start next month with a spotlight on the Northeast. I think it's very important also to be able to look at all of the regions. India has so much to offer in this regard. So I don't want to speak too long. I just want to say again, thank you for organizing this workshop. It's very important to bring people together, all of the stakeholders together. Sometimes we don't have a chance, or we don't have enough fora at the national level to come together. And I think this will make a difference. I want to perhaps also use this opportunity to mention that next month we'll also have an intangible cultural heritage event at the regional level that we'll organize in Udaipur, bringing a number of representatives from various countries of the region together to reflect at the regional level about the importance of ICH. So I think with all this awareness raising, with all this mobilization under the leadership of the Ministry of Culture, ICH has a very bright future, and all of the practices, the traditional practices that we know India has to offer will continue to exist for many years, and not just be safeguarded, but shine a light in India and around the world. Thank you very much.
Now come to the special part of this program, which is a presentation of a dance form to celebrate the inscription of Durga Puja in Kolkata. But before that, I request the guests to take their seats on the front row, please. So as we celebrate with great pride the inscription of Durga Puja in Kolkata, India now proudly has 14 elements. Kindly bear with us. And then I'll hand you over to the artists who will introduce this program.
यूनेस्को से आए हैं, वहाँ के सेक्रेटरी हैं ICS के, ये यहाँ के रीजनल डायरेक्टर।
She's going to be coming, so yeah, like saying.
What about Mrs. Curtis?
No,
She has a trouble. Arvind? इनकी गाड़ी और इनके प्लांटर्स को सब बस बड़ा
बहुत बहुत भीड़ है, आओ तो सही, पहले आके बताना कहाँ। हाँ दी मैम क्या चाहिए, हम सब आगे बैठे हैं, जगह नहीं करेगा। हो गया क्या टाइम होगा 2:53
भूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 namo namaha. Utsav in Bengal is synonymous with Durga Puja. From end September, the white fields of Kash flowers and the clear blue skies of Sharad send out their invitation to Bengal's most celebrated daughter, who visits her earthly abode just once in the year. Her homecoming is not just a festival, it is a celebration of our traditions, our customs, and our culture. Amidst the soft caress of the autumn breeze and the mesmerizing fragrance of the Shivli flowers, Devi Ma enters in all her resplendent glory. Her visit is not just a celebration, and this celebration is accompanied by the sounds of the dhak. And these sounds of the dhak also capture the many moods of the Devi, frenzied, calm, plaintive, and nostalgic. Durga is not just the mother goddess. She is the symbol of Shakti. She is the symbol of the triumph of good over destructive evil. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupeno Samstita Namastasai 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 Namo Namaha. This year the celebration of Durga Puja is very special because it has been inscribed in the UNESCO representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The traditional craftspersons, the traditional artisans, and the traditional designers all come together to create the ambience where we can welcome the Devi. But it is a festival which everyone enjoys irrespective of their cultural, social, or religious beliefs. Folk music, performing our traditions, delicacies from Bengal's rich culinary repertoire add to the dynamism of the festival. The brotherhood in this world. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti Rupeno Samstita Namastasai 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 Namo Namaha. Ladies and gentlemen, we present Devi Rising, choreographed by Sharmila Bishash.
महामाया
देखो
त्रिपुरा महादेवी दुर्गोधिहारी कालरात्रि चैतन्यकारी गुणत्रय विभाविनी दयामयी कृपामयी विश्वेश्वरी महासूरी जगद्धात्री सौम्या सनातनी भगवती नित्या परमेश्वरी ब्रह्ममयी जय मां जय मां जय मां। नमो दिव्यै नमो महादिव्यै महादिव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः 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 प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियता प्रणतः स्मतां रौद्रायै नमो नित्यायै गौर्यै धात्र्यै नमो नमः ज्योत्स्नायै चन्दुरूपिण्यै सुखायै सततं नमः अति सौम्यातिरौद्रायै नतास्तस्यै नमो नमः नमो जगत्प्रतिष्ठायै देव्यै कृत्यै नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमायेति शब्दिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु चेतनति अभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु निद्रारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षुधारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तृष्णारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लज्जारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दयारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तुष्टिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः इन्द्रियाणामधिष्ठात्री भूतानां चाखिलेषु या भूतेषु सततगतस्यै व्याप्तिदिव्यै नमो नमः चितिरूपेण या कृष्णमेतद्व्याप्य स्थिता जगत् नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु 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 या देवी सर्वभूतेषु
जोहार गो मधुकरणे जगत
जननी
साहे थिबो मागो त्रिशूला
Jargijang, Gijagini Jang, Jargijang, Kitty Kitty Ta, Jargijang, Gijagini Jang, Jargijang, Kitty Ta.
Bharata Tarini Goshtodaya
Gijagina Jinjan, Gijagina Jinjan, Kitita, Kitita, Kitikita, Kita, Kitita.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Devi Rising. We would like to felicitate the artists and to do the honors. May I request Mr. Tim Curtis and Mr. Eric Falt to come to the stage, please. And also Ms. Lily Pandeya. Kindly come to the stage, please. Pass to you, Ms. Sharmila Biswas. Concept, choreography, stage and costume design, collection of traditional rhythms, chanting of songs to create the music has been done by her. Srimati Sharmila Biswas. The lead dancers, Monami Nandi, and Krishnendu Saha. The lead voice, Srijan Chatterjee. The voice chorus, I'd like to introduce the entire cast. The voice chorus, Roop Das and Raj Das. Rhythm, Somnath Roy, Chandrasekhar Dubey, Shashank Shekhar Dubey. The light design, Sangeet Natak. I think he's somewhere at the back. Performers on stage, Rahul Dey, Chandan Roy, come Dada. Kaushik Das. Yeah, one by one we'll invite everybody. That was Sangeet Datta who did the light design. And the artists on stage, drummers, Rahul Dey, Chandan Roy. Kaushik Das. Saptadeep Roy. Deep Joy Shokar, Shubhankar Das, Topon Das, and Tamal Das. The supporting dancers, Lopamudra Roy Chaudhary, Shonga Shaptaka Day, Trishita Mukherjee, and the narrator, Gauri Basu. Gauri Basu, take a bow, please. Come. And now may we please have a group photograph. A big round of applause for our artists and for Devi Rising.
निकल गए हाँ तो क्या हो गया हो गया
India showcases an incredible diversity of intangible cultural heritage with more than 5,000 years of continuously living civilizational history and as home to a multitude of communities who originated or settled in India in various periods. With the mutual coexistence of several religions, ethnicities, art forms, architectural styles, music and dance traditions, and linguistic practices, India signifies unity in diversity in a way that is perhaps unparalleled in the world. The ideas, practices, beliefs, and values passed on from one generation to the next provide the foundation for the continuity and enhancement of these elements. India has played a critical role in the ICH sector for UNESCO even before the formulation of the 2003 Convention. Since 1983, India has contributed to matters on the protection of folklore through intellectual property. It was one of the earliest signatories to the Convention and also actively encouraged the other member states to ratify it. Since the ratification of the Convention in 2005, India has actively participated as a committee member for 2 terms between 2006 to 2010 and 2014 to 2018. After the stipulated 4 years gap, India is now positioning proactively to contribute once again in strengthening the implementation of the Convention. India shows a great commitment to the Convention and ranks high in the listing of intangible cultural heritage. 14 elements from India have been inscribed on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. A large number of these elements showcase a global spread as a testimony to India's cultural exchanges with other countries. Yoga, an ancient Indian practice for the mind and body, is adopted around the world by young and the old without discriminating against gender, class, or religion. The global appreciation received by yoga, Ayurveda, and India's traditional culinary knowledge testifies to the influence of India's intangible heritage on the well-being of people and societies. Ram Leela, a traditional performance of the Ramayana epic, is performed in localized contexts in several countries across Asia. Navroz, a multinational inscription from many countries in Asia, marks the start of a new year and contributes to building solidarity and peace among communities. The Kumbh Mela is the largest peaceful congregation of pilgrims on earth, during which participants bathe or take a dip in a sacred river. Inscriptions such as the Thatheras of Jandiala Guru in Punjab not only showcase examples of local crafts, but also address socio-economic needs of rural artisans. This is a mere glimpse of the golden repository of India's intangible cultural heritage. Besides these, several other significant elements covering dance forms, rituals and crafts are recognized in the UNESCO list and many more on its national list.
In addition to its thousands of incredible monuments, India holds an amazing treasure trove of intangible cultural heritage. Because of the size of the country and its diversity, it truly stands in a category of its own. Nowhere else in the world can you find so many proud traditions, whether it is in the performing arts, theater, dance, music, in terms of social practices and festivals, and, of course, arts and crafts. I often say that its living heritage represents a true gold mine for India.
India has formulated a clear vision and roadmap for ICH, brought together with its various active government organizations in the field. Currently, it has 7 prominent government agencies under the Ministry of Culture working on various aspects of ICH along with financial incentives for the ICH knowledge bearers. They also receive collaboration and support from other ministries such as the Ministry of Textile and Handicrafts and the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. India follows an exhaustive process for updating its inventories of intangible cultural heritage involving stakeholders' consultations at all levels. It also undertakes regular education and awareness raising programs for effective transmission of traditional knowledge. India has a rich resource for ICH research through its various institutions under the Ministry of Culture as well as several universities under the Ministry of Education. The National Education Policy 2020 further includes a clause for inclusion of liberal arts with all disciplines, thus encouraging more institutional collaborations for ICH. India showcases its living heritage through a strong network of various stakeholders, including institutions, non-government organizations, groups, individuals, researchers, and scholars. India has 7 UNESCO accredited NGOs, some of which are constantly working towards safeguarding ICH and fostering sustainable development through ICH in South Asia. With this forward-looking vision, extensive network of organizations and vast resources for ICH, India.
Honored guests from UNESCO, Lily Pandeya, colleagues from Ministry of Culture, Sangeet Natak Akademi, and friends and fellow travelers from the ICH world. Until the 2003 convention, the term ICH was almost unknown globally. Yet it is today recognized as a valuable and integral part of the discourse on cultural heritage. The convention, for which India was an early signatory, has worked towards highlighting the safeguarding of a living people's heritage. We in India have been cognizant of these values and have paid great attention to living heritage ever since our independence. Nothing underlines it more than where we meet today, in this wonderful oasis where we see aspects of India's culture. But I would like to draw your attention to the fact that what we see in the National Museum galleries, from miniature arts, the cast bronzes, the jewelry, the Buddhist arts, the paintings, textile repositories, the pottery, and the many other themes all continue to be the living ICH of the peoples and the communities of this country. Connected to their everyday, to their rituals, to performances, events, and to nature and universe. And surrounded in this 3-kilometer radius, and indeed across the country, there are other institutions set up right from the 1950s onwards that are dedicated to ICH. In fact, much before the word ICH was even coined. In fact, across India, organizations, communities, and individuals have worked tirelessly over the decades towards safeguarding of this lived intangible heritage. Having said this, as we emerge from the shadow of COVID-19, I think we need to redouble our efforts as individuals, communities, civil societies, governments, and international agencies to safeguard this incredible inheritance. And I hope on this day and in our 75th year of independence, as we are all gathered here, I hope we can take this opportunity to rededicate ourselves to this purpose. Thank you.
This is an image of the goddess Durga. But for that we need to set up the stage once again, so kindly bear with us in another 2-3 minutes.
I'm not sure I understand. I mean, every year, India, like any other country, has the possibility to nominate a site and get one site inscribed. So this process is going on. As you know, the session of the World Heritage Committee this year has currently been suspended, so we don't know exactly when it will happen. But with a little bit of luck, if all the stars are aligned, India would have a chance to get one more site, World Heritage site. Currently, India has 40. So let's wait and see. That's the best answer I can give you.
Capacity building workshop is to tell the professionals,
to train the professionals and also the academicians and students how dossiers are prepared, what are the domains of ICH. The entire government of ICH is very large, and even to deconstruct the definition, to take it apart, and how this can be incorporated in museums, how museum functions can start incorporating ICH, reflecting ICH. We want to do it over next 1 year. This workshop is the start of it. So tomorrow there will be students, there will be PhD scholars, there will be academicians who will take part in this workshop, and they will do it in a manner where there is theoretical discourse, but then there will be an activity also which tells them how to exactly do it. You know, it's easier said than done. So this is about the capacity building workshop.
Yes, I think it's we are here in the context in part of the Durga Puja celebrations. That's why Tim Curtis is visiting, and we wanted first of all to make sure that we would be here celebrating with you. That's why we responded immediately and positively to the kind invitation of the Ministry of Culture. Again, you have to understand that UNESCO is first and foremost an intergovernmental organization. All of the, and that, I'm sure that will be one of the things discussed in the workshop, because sometimes it's not obvious to many of the stakeholders. Any nomination has to be channeled through the central government. So the inscription of Durga Puja happened after it was channeled through the central government, and we're very happy and proud to be with you today to honor this inscription. And then we have been invited, Tim and I, to represent UNESCO for celebrations that will take place in Calcutta on the 1st of September. There have already been a number of more informal celebrations, but quite clearly, locally, there's extraordinary enthusiasm around the inscription, and we'll be happy to be there locally with the people of West Bengal and Calcutta to celebrate also this inscription.
एक बार जब inscription होता है तो उसमें जो processes involved रहते हैं, जो safeguarding measures वगैरह होता है, inscription की प्रक्रिया के द्वारा वो सब सबके सामने आता है. तो उसको हाईलाइट कैसे किया जाए, उसको सेलिब्रेट कैसे किया जाए, इसकी कवायद हर तरीके से होती है. और इस जैसे ये वर्कशॉप हो रहा है, इसमें हम लोग ये देखेंगे कि क्या ऐसी खूबियाँ थी इस फेस्टिवल के अंदर, या क्या हम लोगों ने उजागर की जिसकी वजह से इसका इंस्क्रिप्शन हुआ. सो इन अ वे इट इज़ retelling the story of Durga Puja and also the aspects of Durga Puja that merited this inscription. So it gives it the kind of prominence that it requires. It puts it, gives it the limelight, and therefore attracts all kinds of, community participation, state participation in safeguarding it and also in propagating it as intangible cultural heritage.
उससे भी related है, ठीक है. तो दुर्गा पूजा और आदिकाल से दुर्गा की आराधना होती रही है. तो इसमें कोलकाता क्यों? क्योंकि आप जब इसको देखेंगे, ICH के सेक्टर को देखेंगे, तो इसमें जो 5 एलिमेंट हैं या विविध आयाम हैं, उसमें सस्टेनेबिलिटी भी है. उसमें कैसे एक एलिमेंट जो है हमारे सोसाइटी को जोड़ता है, मासेस को जोड़ता है, और उसके लिए एक कहें तो मार्केट भी तैयार करता है. कैसे वो लोगों को एक्सप्रेशन करने के लिए या वैसी जगह प्रोवाइड करता है, अपने आर्टिस्टिक जो पार्ट है उसको भी डिस्प्ले करने के लिए खूब सारे मौके बनाता है. दुर्गा पूजा देश में हर जगह होता है, लेकिन कहीं एक कम्युनिटी के रूप में सिर्फ होता है और वो थोड़ी सी वाइब्रेशन करके ख़त्म हो जाता है. लेकिन दुर्गा पूजा जब कोलकाता में होता है तो वो पूरा विश्व देखता है. यू एग्री विद मी? क्योंकि दुर्गा पूजा के वक्त पर एक एक पंडाल जो सजता है, एक एक गली जो सजता है, एक एक मोहल्ला जो सजता है, उसमें हम सब कुछ भूल जाते हैं कि कौन किस जात का है, कौन किस मज़हब का है, कौन, लेकिन सब पूरा प्रदेश, पूरा देश उस वक्त मना रहा होता है. लेकिन कोलकाता में खास बात होती है, जैसे त्रिपुरा में भी आप देखें खास बात होती है. हाँ, इसीलिए ऐसा महसूस किया कि हम जो चाहते हैं कि हमारा एलिमेंट, जो एक एक एलिमेंट है, वो हम मैटर करें आने वाले भविष्य में, इस तरह सेलिब्रेट हो कि वो हमारी जीविका का साधन बन जाए, जिंदा रहने का रोजगार पा लेते हैं। इसीलिए ध्यान गया कि कोलकाता में वो सारे मैंने चीज़ें हैं जिसको हमें दूसरी जगह भी होना चाहिए। और ये हम नहीं कह रहे हैं कि कोलकाता कहने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि सिर्फ दुर्गा पूजा कोलकाता की, लेकिन एक रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होता है कुछ जो बंगाल को रिप्रेजेंट करता है। तो हम बंगाल के लिए कहाँ मुँह खोलेंगे, दरवाज़ा कहाँ से खुलेगा? इट इज़ द ओपनिंग गेट ऑफ दुर्गा पूजा फ्रॉम कोलकाता, क्योंकि वो सबसे ग्लोरीफाइड है, उसमें फ्यूचर कनेक्टेड टू आवर generations. So things should be like that. It has to raise up like that. So इसलिए कलकत्ता को एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के रूप में रखा गया है।
I'm not quite sure what you mean by showcase in that sense of I don't necessarily go.
We have a lot of Indian diaspora there, so they'll also be happy, like
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we give prominence to all the elements that are listed on our lists, and so we, and we're working with the countries. Obviously, we don't do it directly. We work with the countries to do events and to showcase them. The whole point, in a way, of putting them on this list, on this representative list, is to raise the awareness, raise the consciousness, raise the understanding of the importance of all of these elements. And we do as much as we can, working with our member states, our countries, the countries who run a lot of the programs, to try to foster events, awareness in the country, but also outside the country. And I think it's very important in the context of UNESCO that this heritage is shared in a wider sense. So yes, and we have our websites, we have events, and sometimes in Paris or elsewhere. So, yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
No, I think absolutely. I think there's a great possibility, and we hope to foster exchanges and connections. It is representative when we do the intangible cultural heritage, because we are very aware that intangible cultural heritage happens in myriad forms in different places. It's not always tied to one specific place, and it happens all of this. So I think, as I said, it is a part of the purpose of this convention to foster and facilitate exchanges and recognition and global awareness, if you will, of the importance of not only this one specific festival, but these kinds of festival, and how they can be, why they must be safeguarded and transmitted to the next generation. So,
yeah, perhaps here I can say something that Tim cannot, which is that I feel sometimes that there's too much emphasis on the list. Okay, ICH convention is not just about the list. Let's not be sort of obsessed about the list. It's very important, obviously, and that's why we are here today, to celebrate the latest inscription. And I'm sure that, I hope that in a few months there will be yet another inscription for India. But as I tried to underline earlier, I don't know if you were here, there's so much more to intangible cultural heritage. It's impossible for India to ever inscribe its entire intangible cultural heritage practices. Impossible, because there can only be one every year. So that is why we always encourage, with the Ministry of Culture, with all of the partner institutions, to have as many workshops as possible, as many events as possible, and training, so that people understand the importance of the thousands and thousands of intangible cultural heritage practices around the country, and why they need to be safeguarded and how they can be safeguarded. That's why here from our office in New Delhi, we have tried to multiply the occasions to reach out in different ways. You know, Tim is sort of in a way, the master of the list, and it is very important. But from here, we've worked with other partners. We've worked with the tourism industry. We've worked with a variety of partners. I mentioned the wonderful partnership we just started with Royal Enfield, a surprising partnership to many. And together, we're going to go and try to see how we can better document and ultimately help recognize and safeguard intangible cultural practices, in this case in the Himalayas, beginning with the Northeast. So let's not be too focused on the list, I think is a very important message.
इंडिया में इतने सारे ICH practices हैं, सिर्फ festivals और dance forms ही नहीं हैं, और भी बहुत सारी हमारी कलाएं हैं, और बहुत सारे क्राफ्ट ट्रेडिशंस हैं। तो हम लोगों का इन वर्कशॉप्स के ज़रिए यही हमारी इच्छा है कि हम मैक्सिमम कवरेज दें। देखिए, जैसा कि अभी मिस्टर कर्टिस ने कहा और उसके बाद मिस्टर फैल्ट ने कहा, we can nominate only one element per 2 years, right? But the number of elements that we can document and put in our national inventory, the kind of awareness that we can generate through these workshops and, you know, by collaborating with myriad stakeholders and a lot of, you know, practitioners, people in academics, research, non-governmental organizations, government itself, various ministries. So that is basically to raise awareness, generate awareness, and do the work of documentation. Documentation of our best practices, best safeguarding practices, creation of dossiers. तो इस workshop के ज़रिए सारे लोगों को, सारे participants को इसके बारे में बताया जाएगा, so that maximum number of elements are you know, put in the national inventory. एक बार ये हमारी तैयारी हो जाती है, then it becomes easier for us. Then perhaps we can make a case with UNESCO that you allow us to, you know, nominate 2 elements, 3 elements every year, perhaps. Who knows? It's an evolving convention.
Questions which were there from the gentleman here and you, and then see the listing is only endorsement and recognition from an international body, UNESCO. The responsibility of practicing it lies on the community, and the responsibility of the government of that country is to support the community. So we have to raise awareness. If we have to celebrate it, we have to support the community. If we have to raise awareness about it amongst professionals, we have to do more training. So UNESCO has done it, and we are very happy, and we hope that this really puts a sense of pride in us, and it tells us to document more, as Liliji has said. We need to create our own pool, our own data. Not just one element per year or 2 years, but hundreds. We can do it at national level. Who is stopping us? And when we do this, then the community also, who are leaving practices, who are leaving because of the pressures of modern needs, will get encouragement to practice it. They will only be able to sustain it, you know. So it's a very participatory process where UNESCO recognizes, the government, the administration supports, creates awareness, academic bodies will have to do research, and communities will have to be given a nurturing environment to celebrate these festivals, these traditional practices.
I'm going to add one thing first, and we have reiterated it through this entire 2 hours and through what we've seen. We have more than 6 climatic regions. We have a 3,500 sea line. We have huge numbers of peoples, festivals, religions. Can you imagine how much ICH we have? So we should actually, instead of looking at others, we should actually have a citizens' charter, a civil society charter, a charter for all of us, because at the core is the community and the individual whose ICH it is. And it is our responsibility as citizens to safeguard, to document, to highlight ourselves. And how marvelous if it's recognized by UNESCO, but it is a long and slow process. So our national inventory is where we should be really invested in, where we can then put up things literally on a daily basis, and it is safeguarded and contributes to the SDG goals of sustainable development and the future.
And I also would like to add that this is the first workshop, but only first in a series of workshops. So we have decided to have at least 6 throughout the year to just spread awareness about how it is important to add to our national inventory, and how it is important to raise awareness about the various ICH of India. So if that is all that, are there more questions, or shall we conclude today's evening? Because our guests also have other engagements. So thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you who have come here, and I really appreciate all the questions that were asked. Please do stay back and enjoy the stalls. And I think I'm doing your work, so please take over.
I'm always happy when people take over.
आप लोगों के पास मेहंदी है कि नहीं? tradition. Yeah. So this is handmade. I'm wearing a panta. He's wearing a panta. So yeah, talk about it. You will. Shobana will.
Basically, sir, this is a very hand woven thing. It's like very minute. You can see the Durga. No, this is all done by the.
No, it is all handmade.
These are all handmade.
It's handmade, hand embroidered.
These are handmade.
And the silk is also from the gold. And it's a very painstaking work.
They're very fine, very finished.
This is painting tradition.
It's mainly in West Bengal and Orissa. All done on the parchment papers. And then nowadays we actually like make posters and everything so that it becomes a little commercial.
And then the cow masks. This you're aware of. Have you seen this in front of Eric
अस्तु